So hello, this is my new camera, and it looks like I need a lot better lighting. And this is a microphone, and so this is my first test. I uploaded my first ever timer video. I'm so excited! It's a melting candle! Alright, so it is Wednesday, the 9th of September. I just got off doing a live stream with Catherine Faye. It went really well. So on Charlie's stream tonight, he actually announced that there is this place called, let me see, Horror Addicts, where they are doing an anthology with gothic romance, and I am all about that life. So I actually tonight was brainstorming, and I have come up with a plot synopsis for a gothic romance short story. So it's going to be 2,000 to 5,000 words, and I am stoked. There's going to be body snatching. There are going to be ghost hauntings. There's going to be a gothic mansion, and I'm so excited. So yeah, I didn't work on Jack Frost tonight. Instead, I was working on this, and I should probably get back to Jack Frost tomorrow because that one is closing submissions on the 15th, and this one is open until Halloween. So I will be doing that. This morning I went and took my English test for permanent residency here in Canada, and I think I did well. It's the only language I speak, so hopefully I did well. But yeah, I will see you guys all tomorrow. So we're starting to get asked to go back into the office for work now. It is September 10th, and we've been working from home since May. We were one of the last groups to start working from home. A lot of people started going from home in March, but yeah, so we'll see when I get asked. Some people are getting asked to start to come in on Monday. I don't really want to have to go and wear a face mask all day because it's a big open floor plan, so only people who have their own separate offices, like the owners, get to have their masks off while they're working all day. So we'll see. We'll see when the shoe drops. So if I do have to go back to the office, that means I need to start commuting again, so that's gonna cut about 2 hours out of my day again. So that'll be interesting, trying to do Milwordy while I have 2 less hours to work. So, oh, freedom! Okay, it is 8 o'clock at night on Thursday. I am off work, and it is time for my spoopy gothic romance short story. So I'm really excited. Laura Wrights and Kevin the writer are doing their Thursday live stream right now. So I have joined in, and I hope to get all the words. So still brainstorming it though. I gotta figure out which perspective I want, whether it be the guy or the girl. Because the guy has the tragic past that needs to be discovered by the girl. So you would think you would need to do it from the girl's perspective so that his past is a secret and we uncover it and we unfold it. But he's the one seeing more ghosts, so that part would be more interesting to explore. I don't know if I should do a dual POV if it's only between 2K and 5K words. I don't think that's enough time to do dual POV. So I gotta pick one.
God, I can't even do that. 2,000, I think only like 2 days of my whole life have I ever written 2,000 or more words in a day.
Morning. It is Friday. I woke up early so I could try and film a time lapse of the sunrise, but it is really overcast, so you can't really see much difference. So I think I'm gonna try writing. It is 8:15 at night on Friday. I'm off work, hallelujah, and I am watching Charlie Dorset's live stream and about to also start watching Brooke Passmore's live stream. So hopefully I will get my Jack Frost short story edited. Okay, so I am reading over my Jack Frost story, and let's see, the whole thing is 1,362 words, and according to the submission guidelines, it can be between 1,000 and 4,000. So, reading over the beginning of my story, it's a lot of summarizing where he's at before he goes into the dramatics. And so I think I have enough words that I can work with now, like, because I can go up to 4,000, that I should be able to show and not just tell that he was at his wit's end, but show him reaching his wit's end and then going into pure malicious mode. So this is gonna take a lot of editing work. Alright, so my water kettle is coming to a boil, making me some cream caramel rooibos tea, and I just talked with my sister Rachel about my Jack Frost story, and I think I finally have a motive: mercy killings. So Jack Frost is mercy killing the human race to save them from themselves, and I am so here for it. Oh my gosh. So it is very dark, lots of death happens, and yeah, Jack gets his comeuppance. So this will be very interesting to rework and edit through again. So once I get my tea, I will get back to it. I now have my steaming mug of cream caramel rooibos. It's still too hot. It is time. It's fall. I'm good.
How you doing? Come here, baby girl. Ugh. Here you go. Let's sit on my lap now. But not for long, because she's gone now.
Yeah, we did
That's
it for the bar.
almost terrifying.
So you can get a cocktail without all the other...
Why did you not bring one of those
stuff.
home?
Alright, so I have been working on this for 3 hours today. My goal was 4, but it's 11:30, and I have finished revising my Jack Frost, and I am waiting for my sister to read through and give me notes so I can go back over it again, hopefully tomorrow or Sunday. So it is due the 15th for when the submissions close, so I have a couple more days available to massage it. So, I'm tired though. I got up early to try and film that sunrise, and it just was too overcast, so you couldn't really see much change. It just went from car lights on, car lights not on. Like, yeah. Good morning. It is Saturday, the 12th. It's already the 12th, holy cow. So I need to go through my Jack Frost story again and see if my sister did any notes. I don't think she did any yet, but and then also start going on my gothic romance. So that's what's on the docket today. and I slept in, which was nice, but still tired, and yeah. I don't know. I need to do dishes. I need to do lots of things besides just writing today, but we'll see how this goes and where I end up doing, like, putting my time. So I should probably journal first, actually, and get my priorities in order and figure out what needs to be done first. Got my trusty white pen for mistakes, like forgetting how to do a cursive capital J. So today I'm going to work on the Gothic romance short story, work on some dishes, and do a load of laundry. So I'm doing some research on romance short stories because I've never written one. My Souls of Atua book has a romantic subplot, but it is definitely a subplot and not a main plot. So I am having some trouble trying to figure out the romance bit. Also, a lot of the advice for short stories is to keep it in a short timeline. So this idea of them meeting and being engaged and getting married and then the plot happening all within a short story, like, it would have to be like a whirlwind romance of a couple of days for it to be able to fit in a short story. And I don't know if I can make that work. So, like, you can do time skips, but it is suggested not to have a time skip of years. So it does need to be a whirlwind, but I'm not quite sure how to do a whirlwind without him stalking her to find out where she lives so that they can be in communication, because she is not in his class. And so, like, he's a baronet and she is a midwife. So, like, their paths wouldn't really cross, except for at the meet point, which is where they're in a cemetery because the baby she was delivering died, and he is staking out the place for a body snatching. So they happen to be at the same cemetery at the same time. But it's like, how would they strike up a conversation? She learns who he is through a maid. And so I'm trying to figure out how to make this a short story and not full on novel. So, yeah, just having these issues that I need to think through. Alright, update. I took a nap. Yeah, it was really nice. It was about 3 hours. And now my rabbit is digging away. But I'm going back to my Gothic horror romance short story. So I need to get something done. So I just went down an Amazon rabbit hole. I ordered Romancing the Beat, so that should be coming soon to help me figure out how to do a romance, because I've never done an actual romance before. So I've done a subplot once, but it escapes me. So hopefully that will help. I haven't read many romances at all, which is another part of my problem. So I think I need to watch Crimson Peak just to get myself back into the Gothic romance mindset and study it a bit to see what the beats are that they hit. But I'm not sure how to translate that into a short story. So, this is hard. I also ordered a Halloween sweater that is so cute. It has pumpkins and black cats that are so fluffy they look like they're the shape of a pumpkin. And I'm so excited. So I have a Halloween sweater coming as well. But yeah, this romance story is not wanting to just flow. So I don't know. We'll see. So brief history between me and this movie. This was the last film that came out by the studio Mr. X that worked on this with Guillermo del Toro, that did all the special effects. And I saw it in theaters and I was blown away and I loved the effects. And right after that I got my interview with them, and so that was my first special effects job, was at the studio that did these special effects. And I worked on del Toro's next film, The Shape of Water. So that one's a little less gothic, a little more monstery, which I guess is gothic. Like, it's the Fishman one, where the girl falls in love with the Fishman. So I guess it is gothic horror. But this one actually has like gothic architecture. So I'm really excited. I haven't watched this movie in a year, so here we go. So I forgot how much I love this color palette. I got used to the Shape of Water color palette with its like aqua turquoise and warm ambers. And this one, in this first shot where she is about to see the ghost of her mother, it's all green and orange. And it's just so beautiful. And it's like, sorry, my rabbit is digging. I need to figure out how to incorporate color into my story, because it's something that I love in these stories, is the use of color. So I'm not sure how to go about doing that in a written medium instead of a visual medium, whether it's just describing the coloring of her clothes in contrast to the clothes around her, or in contrast of the falling leaves, or things like that. So I need to it's just beautiful. So this is just the image that I've paused on. It is gorgeous. Just look at that orange and beautiful greenish blue, and the slash light in the back on the clock. Oh, I love it so much. So I also love this critique that he has of butterflies and moths in this movie. So just the visuals of these butterflies being her, and the butterfly wings of her dresses, and the chairs that she sits in. And it's just so beautiful. And the moth for the love interest sister who destroyed the butterflies. So I don't know. I just love this idea of having a motif like that. But I don't know if you can do that in a short story. So now I have this new color palette of 14 years later in the States, in Buffalo, New York, where it is golden and everything is more vibrant and lively because it is in the Industrial Revolution type of era. And so everything is new and golden, and it is the land of opportunity. And this is contrasting with the color palette of Crimson Peak. Even her dress is golden. It's the epitome of hope and new futures, which is in contrast to Thomas Sharp, the love interest, who is old money that is dwindling and resorting to certain things to try and bring back the family fortune. So dying money versus new money. So it seems in this movie the first person she meets is the love interest, that is the secondary love interest, the nice guy, and she kind of drags the title of the actual romantic love interest through the mud before she even meets him. So it's this sort of conflict of what they stand for versus, oh, he actually seems like a nice guy and has dreams. So I don't know if I want a second suitor. I don't think I have enough time for a second suitor in a short story. And here we have the love interest. He's so handsome. He's dressed in dark clothes, in very big contrast to all the golds of the new world around him. Ah, so fun, so fun. So he compliments her. Ah, it's so cute. Ah, I don't know how to do this. So we go from him complimenting her to her seeing him being embarrassed by her father by basically saying he only has a toy replica of what he's trying to build and nothing full scale, and he just has some fancy words but nothing really to back it up. And that must be so hard to be dragged through the mud like that by the father of who you just met and have an interest in. So, inclement weather and beautiful architecture, and look at those colors! Now we got more spoopy ghost stuff happening. Oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. I think I should watch until she leaves for England and then start working on that part of my story. I love that the ghost mother's silhouette is the same as the silhouette of her tombstone. It's such an eerie callback. I love it. He's so charming! Oh my gosh, I love it! I love it! And here we see the accomplished sister, the only woman dressed in red and in an older fashion gown. It's really cool when you read the behind the scenes book how they actually had to sew her into her gowns to make it look like a piece of architecture because she is part of the house. And oh my gosh, it's just so good. And everything is old that they have because they are out of new money. And so everything is hand-me-downs. And oh my gosh, I just love it. Oh my gosh, these knowing looks are killing me. He's looking at his sister and his sister's looking at him like, what are you doing? You're ruining the plan. Oh, how do you convey those kinds of looks in writing? I need to read more. The ultimate snub. Oh, her face. Oh, he goes to the other girl, the main girl. Oh. I don't think I have time for this many characters, though, in a short story. Oh, the perfect line! I always close my eyes to things that make me uncomfortable. That's such his life. Oh my gosh. That head turn, though. Oh, that head turn. There's just so many subtle acting things that go on and just hint at what is truly going to be happening before the big reveal during the last third of the movie. And just, oh my gosh. Subtle acting things. So good. So then we have the whole hire an investigator to investigate the shiftiness of the love interest and his sister. And now we go into the lore of the ghosts and how ghosts exist in this world with the competing love interest. So, I don't usually go for love triangles, but it seems like a good way to add tension and be able to get multiple perspectives on the world. And here we have a date! Oh, he's reading her book that she's writing, and his sister is, whatchamacallit, overseeing the date, make sure nothing untoward happens. So, I love this date so much. We've got the motif of the dying butterfly. Oh, yes. Beautiful things are fragile. Ooh. The conversation in the shadows, where everybody else is in light and their deeds are in the dark. Conspiracy! So I'm wondering if my midwife main character's father should play a role in this story. Because in this movie, he is the one who finds out the truth behind the baronet and how they are surviving and making money. And so he forces them apart by having the baronet break up with her and break her heart and run off to England. But he kind of, spoiler alert, I guess I won't do spoilers. Something happens, and yeah, they end up together anyway. So, it would definitely add conflict, but I don't think there's time in 5,000 words. So, the father says that the main love interest must thoroughly break her heart. I hate watching this scene every time. It hurts so bad. Just, oh, it hurts. I don't know if I want a scene like that in my story. Just the ruthlessly stab someone where they're the most tender, just because you've been blackmailed. Like, it sucks. I hate watching this part. It hurts so bad! It's so short, but it hurts so bad. The acting, so good. And the wallpaper, exquisite. Okay, I'm 37 minutes in, and I think it's time to get back to writing. I have been refilling my creative well. This movie is gorgeous. Oh, the melodrama. The melodrama is just so beautiful. I think they take a lot of their dialogue inspiration from Jane Eyre. I've never read it. But, yeah. It is very beautiful. And now there's murder. Good stuff. Alright, so I watched a little bit more of the movie. It's so good. And I've actually started drafting again. I did the meet cue, so where they are both in a cemetery at the same time and their eyes meet across the way, and she's cold and he has a coat. Let me walk you home. So we'll see if I keep it this way. But I really enjoy the atmospherics that are happening. And so I'm going to cut through the entire dating process and cut to the meat of the story, which is the wedding night. So hopefully that will work. It's like I'm already at 477 words and it's just the meeting. So I need to keep things short. This is so hard. Like, something that has more than one scene is really hard to keep short. So most gothic romances that I know of don't happen in one scene. So yeah, gonna keep writing. So I'm at 1,109 words so far. I have where they meet, I have like 5 lines of dialogue for a date, and then I have the beginning of the climax. So I have the wedding night started, and someone's disappeared, and the fog is rolling in, and so, this is really hard keeping it short. So I'm not sure how to show how people are attached in that quick amount of time. And I think that's necessary for a romance. So yeah, there's been a kiss, so I guess it's a romance. There's a kiss and they've been married. So yeah, this is really hard trying to balance. So, Saturday the 12th, tonight, I am now at 32.15 hours for the month, which means I'm actually on track to hit 70 hours, I think, by the end of the month, because it's not quite the 15th yet. So, hopefully I will be okay. Amazing. So thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe if you want to continue to see more updates and my progress on Milwordy, my gothic romance short, my Jack Frost short, all of my horror stuff, as well as my sci-fi novel that I will be drafting for NaNoWriMo in November. I just need to get back to the world building for that next month. That's what I'll be doing for Preptober. So, yeah.